Sweet.
What's up,
y'all? Happy Tuesday. Happy SellerAmp Seller Hour. Excited to tap in here, answer any questions, do some ASIN reviews, and all that like we do every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Got the man Warner here with me as well. And we're about to lock in here and answer any questions y'all got. So let us know who's here in chat. Let's know who's here in chat, guys.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is also your friendly reminder to spend that 30 minutes to an hour, whatever you can afford, to not be on Netflix today. Actually sourcing some stuff. Back to school season is in full swing, so you'll start to see a bunch of back to school type listings. The prices are starting to go crazy on some of them. So if you don't already have some of those back to school products you're tracking as well, it's another good idea. Throw those on a little Keepa alert, put it on a SellerAmp back to school Google sheet, and just start tracking things. I've seen like some random like crayons and markers and backpacks and that kind of stuff, like bunch kind of a assorted listing starting to go crazy in price and make some really good FBM opportunities.
Oh yeah, right there. Cool. What's up, Carol? Good to see you. Carol Jensen. What's up, CC1072? Good to see you here. Yeah. And then guys too as well, one thing we love doing for SellerAmp Seller Hour is reviewing ASINs. So if you have any ASINs you want us to pop up and say whether we like them or not and why, feel free to drop those in the chat and we'll take a look there for you.
For sure. You're in the middle of watching Miles' video. That's good timing, I guess. You saw the little live icon pop up there.
Oh yeah,
I like it. What's up? What's up, Cold? What's up, Adrian? Good to see you, man.
Effing good. Let's F and go. Yes, sir. Very good. Sounds good. What's up here? Yeah. So who wants to get us started, guys? Drop an ASIN in the chat and we'll pop it up here and take a look, see if it looks good, see if it looks bad, etc., etc. I'm using USPS labels and that is hitting my on-time delivery rate very badly. Please suggest what I do. If the courier company is delivering great, what can I do for this? So you're probably most likely for saying that on a pretty small volume of orders, right? So you're most likely on a pretty small volume of orders. Just buy whatever shipping is cheapest via Amazon. And primarily that's going to be under 1 pound USPS and above 1 pound UPS. And then every now and again, right, Amazon will be super, super expensive just because that specific order needs to be delivered a little quicker, in which case you'll use pirateship.com as well too.
Yeah. If you ship through Amazon, you get protected though. So like if customer complains and gets their money back, then it's out of Amazon's pocket.
Yeah. Good question here from International Center for Translations. Hi guys, been watching Miles' 8-hour course. Notice the cost of sending goods to FBA is not taken into account. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, so it actually is, but you just don't necessarily see it. So let me pop up exactly what I mean by this, because it is covered in the SellerAmp settings, which are very important to set up here. So I'll show you where that is here. Boom. So if we go here, so I'll pop up the screen share real quick. So we go right here, bada bing, bada bing, bada bing. Right. So here in my my SellerAmp settings. So here in SellerAmp settings, and we can see the inbound FBA shipping right here is automatically factored in there. Right. So this is the cost of inbound FBA shipping right there. Right. So this automatically calculates in the SellerAmp calculator so that we know essentially we're not flying blind in respect to shipping costs. So that you're typically going to get between 70 to 80 cents per pound. I like estimating it. Some products you actually get substantially lower than that, which can be a good bonus too as well if you update that correctly. And then I'd also recommend for quick info having all 5 of these options selected as well, especially the show offer summary and these other options too, which are pretty helpful. And then on that topic, right? So obviously FBA shipping is automatically calculated in. And then FBM shipping, you do not just subtract shipping costs from here to get the FBM profits. Instead, what you actually do is you scroll down here and you go over and you toggle to FBM. And then you have to make sure you plug in the FBM shipping costs. That's what so many beginners forget is they don't actually plug in the FBM costs right there. And when you plug that in, right, then you can go ahead and get the estimated cost right there and check the profit. And that's the name of the game right there. Right. So it's pretty important to know how to calculate those FBM leads right there and be using that FBM calculator correctly.
For sure. Yeah, we're always sourcing with shipping and sales tax on those. So if you see us show numbers, it's not just like in fairy tale land. Yeah, that's super important. Just hear about the straight to Amazon getting nuked. Yeah, I mean, I think it's like a year from now, and yeah, it mostly affects wholesale, I'd say. Because for those of you guys that don't know, like right now you can pay Amazon 55 cents a unit if you ship from like your supplier or you for Amazon to do the prep. I think they're phasing that out though. So for us, it doesn't matter. We can't ship to Amazon anyway because you're buying from websites that don't like format things. But it was kind of nice to do on some wholesale shipments, so it's a little unfortunate. But yeah, don't feel like FBA is gone or something like that. Like I know there's gonna be some people feel like you can't do FBA anymore. End of sentence, something like that.
Oh, a lot of people thought
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So you always got to make sure you read that stuff
Yeah.
in detail there, because it can be obviously like very misleading if you just read like the headline. Nice, thanks. Keep watching the course, of course. Right there. So good question here. So Cold Thunder says, unspoken topic. How much do you recommend setting aside of revenue and our profit for taxes? So we're not tax people and we don't pretend to be. Warner, as well as our Buy Box Bandits podcast, have some really good content with Chris Potter, who actually owns an accounting company that largely serves e-commerce sellers. So listen to that. And then also check out the book Profit First for e-commerce sellers. It's a really like advanced accounting strategy that if you take away a couple things from that will make a big difference in getting you set up correctly the right way on that.
Yeah. The classic percent you're going to get from most accountants is like 20 to 30%. But yeah, it's kind of however you want to treat it. Like, for most sellers, as long as you're smart with your cash, you can reinvest a bunch at the start and then start saving more at the end of the year. So you end up with the same number, but you get more compounding. It's just more risky that way. But talk to however your CPA wants to do it.
Yeah.
You heard OA is over at the end of 2025. Yes, exactly. It's true. It actually died in 2020 and 2021 and so on. So yeah, the business has been dead since the day I started. It's just still going for some reason.
Yep. Yeah, we got you, ICFT. Yeah, that's a great question for someone who's new to even be thinking about making sure those things are being calculated incorrectly. So if you implement the rest of the free course in there, you're gonna get some totally good results. And we got a lot of good content on our pages too, like our individual channels, the SELLERAMP channel as well. Amazon no provide prep. Exactly. Yeah. So Amazon won't prep your items after that. Ideal set for FBM when doing back to school. Is it too late? Oh, not at all. Yeah, no. I mean, the nice thing is like, there's no kind of like set dates for stuff, but the nice thing is we're still like a week out from peak back to school, which is like a 2-week period. So I'd say peak back to school is like August 5th to the 20th, and peak fourth quarter is like December 5th to the 20th.
Yeah. I mean, you can see it on the Keepa. Like a lot of products they'll be pumping through like the first week of September, because a lot of states start schools at different times and that kind of thing. Yep. So just check the Keepa on the item you're wanting to sell.
Good question from Jeremiah here. Says, hey, got my first couple of FBM sales. I've got at least 5 products of 10. Should I keep FBM everything or try FBA? Yeah. So, I mean, those items that are moving well for you, FBM, I'd probably keep FBM in them. But the nice thing is you can FBA and FBM at the same time on the same item. So loading up some FBA shipments and box them, right? Some 2D barcodes, ain't going to be a bad thing at all right there too. Carol Jensen says, I haven't listed or sold anything yet. Does it make sense to get some quick sales even if they're low profit or break even? 100%. Carol, you've been doing a great job watching the content. Yeah, totally. You should get
that proof of concept. Yeah. You'll find a bunch of stuff right now that's like maybe 15-20% ROI. Yeah, like borderline. Just don't buy borderline clothes because you'll end up losing money. If they're borderline like stuff that's not going to get returned heavily, then absolutely go for it. Get some sales, test the concept. Get those. You just get that proof of concept basically, and then it gets a lot easier to take things seriously.
Boom. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense for you. Carol, too, we just see you constantly popping up in live streams. So you're obviously, pretty serious about this and everything. So any specific questions too, we're happy to help. And that goes for any of you guys too. Let's pull up a couple examples here. So I have a couple examples of products I want to break down that'll just really, help you guys in your sourcing journey right here. So this first item, right, is this first item here, right, is going to be a quick mover from a listing that has a good sales rank, and this is going to be a slow mover from a listing that has a good sales rank. So for example, we can see both of these products have an 120K sales rank because they're on the same parent listing. So they're colors and size variations of different products basically right there. But we can see sales rank does not change between variations, but the Keepa chart does, right? So we can see this listing is moving significantly quicker, right, than this listing that's significantly more blocky, right? So even though these have the same sales rank, the volume on them is very different, right? And the reasoning on that is because, one's just a more common color, right? A black, a black large is going to sell quicker than a gray 2 extra large, right? And it makes sense, but a lot of folks go wrong in that they think that the sales rank, especially on listings with variations, is the end all be all, when it's not the case whatsoever. Not the case whatsoever. Right there. If you want to see an example of what an IP complaint looks like, that's what an IP complaint looks like right there. So guys, make sure you avoid listings where you can see a big boom, a big plummet there.
That might not actually be an IP. Do you see the sales rank goes crazy?
Well, true. Yeah, true. So
I think it went viral on TikTok or something.
It probably did, but either way, when you see something like this,
yeah, usually if you see it without the sales rank drop, it is an IP for sure.
Yeah, and whenever you see something like this, it's definitely set up the alarm bells. But Warner's actually completely right on that. You guys can see the sales rank plummeted right there, so it probably went super viral. And then homies restocked here.
Somebody was going crazy on TikTok.
Damn, it took like a month. Wow, it took a month for it to even get back to 40-50% of where it was. Right, that's pretty interesting. Right, and then this listing, right, is a listing that Amazon's on that we don't want to compete with them on because they're not sharing any buy box. It's incredibly blocky here. So we can see Amazon's on this, but you should avoid it, right? But then this item here, when Amazon was on it, it still totally moves fine here, right? So we can see Amazon's on it, blocky and bad, nicely flowing and good right there. Right, so it's very, very important on that, right? So there we go. It's not bad whatsoever right there, right? And then also too, just kind of like a little pro tip here. So this says private label. Listings automatically show as private label when they have low competition, right? So don't see private label as a reason to avoid something, and don't see it as the end all be all. So like it says PL, but it's suspected PL, right? Which could be a sign of private label, right? But what we need to do is see if there's other resellers making money on this, or just see if this is a reseller friendly brand. And the way we go ahead and do that is we rock and roll down here and take a look at the names of the sellers right there. Boom. And there we go.
Bang. See, JV dropped an ASIN. We can take a look at that one too. Let me pop that up. All right, sweet. Yeah, throw the screen up there.
What up, Kenny? Good to see you. Let's see here.
All right, sweet. So JV dropped this one right here. So initial, usually just first thing I'm checking for is, is it reseller friendly? Am I gonna make some sales on this? When you see like the buy box jumping around like that, seller count is a great seller count trend as well. Like naturally going down. So less competition, but not like IP complaint going down basically. We can see if we can find it real quick. Initially, it looks like a great item. It's probably right there. Yeah. A little easy to find, which might make it a little bit tricky, but let's see. Price of coupon 15. It is the shampoo, right? Yeah. So 15.11 from Fragrance Net. Yeah. So I assume that's the source there. In the past, it was like 28.71. So I bet it goes back there if a bunch of people hop back on this listing. So that's kind of your worst case scenario, which is a pretty decent worst case scenario, especially on something that's not really going to see any returns. And right now you're at a really solid profit. So I do like it. I'm curious if we can see any like sales data on here. And yeah, you can see like lots of people making really quick sales. So whenever you see this stock count decreasing like that, this person absolutely deleted them. Here's an FBA seller. If you're planning on FBAing, you can see like they had like 35 down to 1 in like a week. So they're selling like several every day. Definitely looks like a solid item. Lots of sales, pretty stable. Just I wouldn't go insanely deep because it was pretty easy to find. So you're gonna have more competition on it, but I do like the analytics on it.
Yep. So good question here from Be More First. I think that's Steve there. When looking at a Keepa chart, what is the main thing you're looking at / looking for? Yeah. So you originally get to the product via storefront stocking when you're a beginner. So the sales rank is the initial qualifier, right? And then you need to make sure there's good offer count movement, right? So you need to check the offer count movement on the bottom Keepa chart, make sure it looks good right there. And that's the name of the game on that.
Yep. Let's see. Yeah, John, if you want to see us, actually source, that's what probably 60 to 70% of our YouTube channel is. So you can just start clicking through some of those videos and kind of just copy what we do there. Yeah, that's definitely step one though. So you're on the right track. Just start digging through stores, see what people are having success on. Yeah, plenty of that on the YouTube channel.
Yep. Yeah. And then just to kind of elaborate further on the Keepa charts, what to look for. So basic product research criteria, right? Which, it's not one size fits all, but largely a good bit of what you're looking for, right? Is under a 200K sales rank, $3 plus profit per unit, a 30% plus return on investment, and the competition either stable or going down, and the price either stable or going up, basically, right there. So that's like kind of the breakdown right there. But then, so for example, so John's saying he's struggling to make the method work, right? So the reasoning on that, John, is either you're looking at products that aren't actually online arbitrage, right? Or it's you're not finding the correct discounts to make those items good, right? Because very, very rarely will items just be profitable at the advertised price. Typically, what you do is you make them good through some sort of coupon code or discount or sale. Luckily, each website, for the most part, only has one or two of those tips or tricks. So once you know them forever. Like, for example, carters.com, it's a 15% code that just pops up. Literally, any of you guys can go to carters.com and you'll see it on there. And then discounted gift cards is the name of the game for that, right? But each website's unique. The nice thing is you only got to find them once.
Yeah, just write down the cheapest way you've ever seen to get products on a certain website, right? So even if it involves like a limited time coupon or like discounted gift card rate that isn't there anymore, just write down what conditions made that good. So that, like, when you're going through, just doing a quick check of all the websites you're considering sourcing from, you're like, oh, the conditions that made a lot of items at Carter's good is true again today. I'm going to source there, right? So you can kind of save yourself some future effort of like knowing where to source.
Yeah.
See, Jeremiah said, does FBA usually sell faster than FBM? If you list it higher, will that affect your store? So FBA will sell faster than FBM 9 times out of 10. And it doesn't affect your store. You could list your price, 100x if you really wanted to. You're not going to show up on the listing, but it's not going to like harm your account if your price is higher. The only thing that matters is that you're making sales. And you can definitely make sales higher than FBM prices, usually like 10 to 20% higher. You'll see the buy box jumping like up from FBM sellers, kind of popping up to higher FBA sellers.
When looking at the seller and buy box chart, some days there's a few days / weeks in the past where there wasn't a buy box price. How many days / weeks is it a red flag? No, so no buy box listings are totally cool. The nice thing is that like whether or not there's a buy box on a product, that doesn't do anything to tell you how fast it's going to sell. Now, if the buy box recently went away, then it's like, okay, it's going to sell slower right there, right? But to be honest, you're good to go with that. And that there's lots of no buy box listings that do really well. So just focus on the sales rank if it has no variations, and the sales rank in the Keepa chart if it does have variations to gauge the velocity there. Yeah.
Only time it's really a problem, Sarah, is if the buy box went away like super recently, and it's always had one before then. Usually you'll see a little bit of a sales decrease after that. But most of the time you're going to see suppressed buy box. It's had it no buy box for a month because Amazon thinks it's overpriced, which is kind of exactly the items you want to sell.
Yep. I got a ton of labels from UPS, but I was wondering where we get the good FBM supplies boxes for FBM. Unbranded ones from Walmart or Uline. Walmart in-store and then Uline, obviously, online. Yeah. Yeah, Steve. So this will be saved on Flips from Alice, Fields of Profit, and the SELLERAMP channels right there, man. Yeah.
JV got another ASIN. I'll pop this up here.
Let's see here.
I think it's Nike shoe, like we're like it's 2022 again here. Sweet. So this is actually a good example of like no buy box not being a problem, like we were talking about. See, it basically had no buy box for a long time, but during the time it had no buy box, there was like offer counts changing a lot, right? So you can just empirically see on the Keepa chart that this does actually move. Let's see. Yeah, so especially since it's shoes, I'd want to make sure you're buying it for like 60 or less, because it was like 94, which would not be great. 95 or so. Right now it's at 109. So I would definitely be wanting to find this for like 60, which maybe you can do after a coupon. Maybe you add a coupon at ASOS there or something like that. Maybe stack catch all at Dick's could help. Yeah, not like immediately obvious where the margin's coming from, but
looking chart, man.
Yeah, it's very stable. Just make sure you're just getting this as low as you can, because it wouldn't surprise me if the price goes back to like 100ish or even 90, like 95.
Yeah. So Deal Hunter says there a trick to avoid Uline shipping fees. If so, if not, is one with the best option. Yeah. So definitely subscribe to Walmart and mainly Uline, but Walmart as well. Right, their newsletters, because every now and again Uline will do a free shipping sale. Especially, I believe it's going to be in September of last year. So you guys can get that in there. Do you guys do 8A or is that too risky? Nah, 8A totally works, just not our cup of tea. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do some like longer term stuff. Cold Thunder there, but yeah, I don't do a lot of like, you know, buy 808 this week, sell 808 the next week. Just kind of like different stuff to shake it up. It's not risky though. Like Amazon themselves even says you can buy from Amazon. Yeah, John. So 808 is just Amazon to Amazon flips, and Amazon themselves even says it's fine because when you like go to ungate things, they're like, hey, if you buy from us, you just have to buy more. Which is kind of funny. It's acknowledging the loophole and just making some more money off of it for them. So they're cool with buying from Amazon, selling on Amazon. As long as you don't buy with a Prime account, you can definitely do that. And there's lots of items on Amazon where it'll be like Amazon goes out of stock all the time, or like during certain periods of the year, Amazon always goes out of stock and the price goes crazy high, that kind of thing. You know, think back to school items, Christmas items, that kind of thing. But yeah, just again, don't use Prime. Yeah, guys, like 3 of you guys are emphasizing, yeah, don't use Prime if you buy from Amazon and sell on Amazon. I'm glad you guys are you're all hip. Yeah.
Yeah. So John, it's buying on Amazon, flipping on Amazon. So yeah, the term Amazon to Amazon flips.
Yep. Can you do all this in the UK market and scale? Yeah, there's lots of people who sell on Amazon in the UK. You also have some easier access to the other markets over there too. Like Germany's pretty big. You might be able to make some sales there. That kind of open some doors for you as well. But yeah, same concepts. You're just buying from different stores basically. So Nathan said you'd be okay if you ship 12 boxes with one product to a single person if they buy 12 times. I would ship all of them in one box if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then that'll lower your overall shipping cost. Especially, it sounds like you're doing FBM, and that's where you start to make crazy margin on some sales that are FBM. Yeah, because the shipping charges get charged per unit, but for you it doesn't, because obviously there's shipping savings when you're adding multiple units of a product into the same box. Yeah, so like you can even think about that when you're sourcing things to sell FBM. Stuff like groceries, vitamins, stuff that people might buy multiple of, versus like toys or more like one-off type things.
Boom, boom, noted. Thanks. Yeah, of course, we got you. Right there. What does AWD mean again? It's like Amazon Warehousing and Distribution. I can't remember.
I think that's what it stands for. I know basically you can send it to. It's like a
3PL kind of?
It's like a purgatory. That's what I'm looking. That's the word I'm looking for. A purgatory fulfillment center. You can't sell it out of that fulfillment center, but the rates are cheaper than storing it at a FBA facility. And I think the reason why a lot of people are using them is because you get like more storage limits at AWD, and then you transfer it to an FBA warehouse where you pay more. I think the people I've seen using it are like, if you sell a ton of something, Amazon puts a limit on that ASIN, how much you can have. Then you send the rest to AWD, basically. I can't think of really any use cases for online arbitrage unless you're like crazy deep on something.
Boom, boom. Right there. Cool, sweet. So we'll be on for another couple, like 5 or 6 minutes, guys. So any questions you guys got, any ASINs you want us to review, let us know in the chat. And if you have any suggestions on videos you want us to make as well. Do you polybag toys or only stuff like clothing and grocery items? Yeah, so toys typically are big enough where they actually don't require it through Amazon. But if it's a smaller toy that you think it'd be convenient to polybag, definitely doesn't hurt to. Here we go.
There's some more confusion. Yeah. So
we got you, man.
The FBA still exists. Amazon is just not you right now. You can pay Amazon to label your units for you if you want, which is usually helpful if you want to like ship from a wholesale supplier to Amazon, and they are killing that program. FBA is very much not going away. What would they even do with all the warehouses? They build like probably, I don't even know at this point, probably 1,000+ like giant warehouses across the country, and they're like, no, we're good. Those are empty now.
Yep. What do you do if you do not manage Shungate? So via getting declined. Yeah. So getting declined is completely normal. It typically happens like 5 to 15 times per brand. It's completely normal, completely expected. And do not see it as a reason to like not apply for, not continue to submit for something or like return it or anything like that. Makes no sense. Now, if you haven't heard us mention that, I totally get that. And everything obviously doesn't feel good to get denied, but it's something that is, you know, completely expected and part of the game with Amazon there. Should I do wholesale? If you're asking that, it's probably not time to, because you're probably more of a beginner entrepreneur and you're not interested in doing a bunch of like, you know, cold calling and cold emailing, especially emphasis on the cold calling, honestly.
Yeah. Make your first like, you know, 5 or 10K with OA. It'll be a lot easier. And then you also like, if you do want to do wholesale, there'll be like way easier opportunity to jump into because you'll have found a bunch of brands and that kind of thing that make the transition easier. Basically, you can't send to Amazon straight from the supplier. Unless you want to, I guess you could still do it if you want to commingle.
Yeah, like wholesale,
you know, that's not great.
You're probably not doing that as a beginner. Milestone to hit beginner, advanced steps, master. Ooh, okay. For example, auto engate, FBA/FBM transition. Aha. Okay. Yeah, that'd be interesting packaging right there. But I'm screenshotting that. Thank you, Sarah. And Sarah, what other stuff would you want to see that in there too? How to actually scale an Amazon business in 2025. How can I get over 100 units? Just keep selling. Yeah, of course, bro. Yeah. How do I sign up for the class? I don't give up, but it's so hard to start. 80 years ago, they would have shipped you off to a foreign country and said, go to war. That is hard. Doing this stuff isn't. Right. But we have a bunch of good content linked in the description. We're happy to help with that. Yeah, we recommend just starting with strictly ungates that require 100 units. Yeah.
If it's asking for a crazy number, you can always just use 10. I have never submitted 100 plus ever, and it doesn't matter.
Yep. Yeah, Mr. Young, we got you, bro. You're in the 305 too. You know, we got you as well. Yep.
Yeah, and for all of you guys who are like kind of getting started, we both have like super long, detailed free courses on YouTube as well. So just dig in on those. Just look up, you know, Flips for Miles free course, Fields of Profit free course. And just watch through that. You'll be quite prepared after that.
Yep. As a beginner, should you stick to listings that have estimated sales of 100 plus or more? In general, you should, but there's some that are like 50 plus, 30 plus that still have really good offer count movement on that bottom Keepa chart. So don't necessarily like avoid them right there. Says any 200 units. I assume you're talking about Crayola. For some reason, that happened to everyone right there. So keep submitting and you'll get approved right there. Yeah,
you use 10 as well.
Like that. Yeah. Nice thing is Crayola is 50 cents each. So you can buy, you know, you're going to sell thousands of them, honestly. So that means you can't ship directly to Amazon because it would need to be prepped. Exactly. So you've never been able to do that with online arbitrage, right? And some wholesale suppliers would do it for you. Very few will though, especially if you're a beginner, right? So what Amazon is taking away is the service where they prep your inventory for you. Strictly that, which very, very few people were using. So nothing changed for 99% of sellers.
And if you were, just fire up box them. Good time to learn how to make your own shipments, and that's kind of the fastest way to do it now. If you bought clothing, do you need to polybag it if send it to FBA? If you came without the bags, the rule is like if the outside of the product is going to touch the belts, then yes. So like especially if you're selling like light colored clothing, it's going to get nasty on the belts, and then it's going to lead to returns. So polybag it.
Yep. But they're saying I need to ungate toys. Exactly. Yeah. So certain categories you need to ungate as well as the brands, which is nice and easy to do. So for example, toys is one of those categories that's gated. Luckily, you can just get ungated. Shoes and clothing and beauty, however, right, are examples of brands that are auto ungate. So you'll never have to apply for those. Yeah. And wasn't gated. Oh, cool. Oh, Mr. 305, you're about to get rich. Okay. So spending 50 cents to make 50 cents or not really on that, but spending $1.50 to make $1.50 profit is totally good. You're just getting a little psyched out by that negative max cost just because it doesn't hit your $3 profit per unit criteria. You're about to get rich, Mr. Young 305. I don't know how that was auto engaged for you. That's going to be a phenomenal product. You should totally load that up there. Nice. Yeah. It says a negative max cost because your profit per unit is $3, but luckily, you know, using our business owner hats, right? We're not tied to one specific method or formula, right? And spending $1 and make $1 is totally cool right there. Yeah, so even though it shows a negative max cost, right? Because it's mathematically impossible to make $3 profit on a $7 sale price on Amazon. Yeah. Yeah. Example, how can I get auto ungate that go from 0 to 10K? Then boom, cool. Okay, love that there. Good question from Gold here. How do I know if the product is misbranded? SellerAmp will show it, the brand, make sure it matches, but SellerAmp will be wrong sometimes too, where it's a false negative. So where you fully confirm that is going to list the ASIN on Boxem or on Amazon.com, where Warner has it popped up here. Taking a look at that brand name, how this doesn't match.
Check this, because you'll notice that the backend of Amazon thinks the brand is great value, but the brand is whatever this is. This is some like third-party seller. So this would be like a misbranded listing. So if this says anything but the actual brand it is, generic, some random company name, that kind of thing, don't sell it.
Boom, boom. Sweet. Should I buy? Nah, you see, you got to FBA stuff. Yeah, products that are under 20 bucks are very, very difficult to make work FBM. To be honest, just because Amazon fees are so low below 20 bucks there. Yeah. Cool. All right. Thanks guys for tuning in for another good SellerAmp Seller Hour. If you got any questions, our DMs are open on socials. You can obviously comment on this video too if you're watching on the replay, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for tuning in every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern.
Absolutely. See you guys soon.
That'll be great. See you later.